What I'm saying, and all I'm saying, is this is advice. And all lives matter. Hey, DiIvory Edgecomb here, high performance coach and best-selling author. And before I get into this video, I have a disclaimer for you. Great, now that we got the important legal, doomful stuff out the way, let's have some fun. Let's get into a discussion and let's learn. Let's understand more of ourselves and more of what's going on in the world, and let's get out of the misconceptions. Now, the misconceptions of law enforcement is what we're talking about. It's why you're here. It's what you want to learn and what you might want to understand a little bit better. So in video 1 of video 3, part of this series, we're going to be talking about a white officer and a black person. Now, this is non-denominational scenario, so it could be a woman on either side or a man on either side, whichever one you want to pick and play into. So before we get into that, why are we talking about this? Because what you don't know about me is I'm a retired law enforcement officer for 13 years, and I've seen pretty much a lot of things in the spectrum of law enforcement. So I'm not only just the one talking about it with an opinion like everyone else, I've also did it and can tell you what it's like to be from the law enforcement side and to be a black male, a black person. Because before I was a law enforcement officer, I had my own run-ins as well. So before we get into the scenarios, I want you to understand, just like the disclaimer, this is just an opinion, and opinion that I live, and an opinion that people should understand to not take so seriously. So here we go. White officer, black male, black female. So the officer pulls over the black person. What happens? No one knows. But in that scenario, you're probably already thinking, oh yeah, a white guy, he might be racist, or he's angry, or whatever it is. All right. So we'll play in this scenario that the white person is just angry, or the white officer is just angry. Now, why is that person angry? We don't know. What people fail to understand, and what I want you to understand, is that we're all people. We're all people living in one world, doing numerous, vast jobs to help the world continue to stay on top if you're in America or wherever you are. You know, you have a job, so perform to the best of your abilities in your job. So this officer is angry, and what's gonna happen when you're angry? Think about it for yourself. When you're angry, do you perform at your highest level? Do you perform like you know you're supposed to do? No. Because the real problem in anyone who's angry is that emotions could be clouding your judgment. And this is from a performance aspect. Emotions will always cloud your judgment if they're in something negative, or if you're not in a positive vibration, you're gonna get the negative outcome. So this angry officer is already coming to this scenario angry. Now, this black person in this scenario is gonna do everything right. They're gonna comply. They're gonna say exactly what they need to say, do exactly what they need to do, and follow the instructions of the law enforcement officer. And what happens in this scenario? This has played out in time. You have probably seen it. You have friends that's probably been in this scenario here. Whatever that officer is doing negatively is going to affect the black person, even if they're in a positive vibration, even if they're doing everything right. Because you can do everything, you can comply, you can do all of it, and it can still go wrong, right? Now, that issue is an issue of expectations. You know, you want to expect the positive all the time. You want to do the positive and expect the positive. But hey, life happens. Sometimes it does not work out that way. And when you're moving against a force or a person that you just can't change, which you can't, only thing you can have control over, full 100% control, is yourself. So in this scenario, the angry officer is barking orders, asking for this, asking for that. The black person is complying. They're very compliant. They're asking, hey, what do you need me to do? Hey, what can I do? Whatever. Now, in that scenario, the officer is bringing so much negatively charged emotions We still don't even know what the stop was. You don't know what they're encountering, what's going through their mind. It could be profiling, it could be. It could be a tail light. It could be they were speeding. It could be some legal justification of why they were stopped. And in my experience, I'm the officer that actually tells you why I'm stopping you. Why do I do that? Because I want you to know why I'm stopping you. Hey, if you did something and you did it, own it. The problem with people in the world today is no one is owning what they are doing. Now, you look at the high performers in the world, the people who are achieving massive things, and you see them today. You can name them right now. They take full responsibility for what they're doing and for their outcomes and their results. Because if you have full responsibility of yourself, you have full responsibility of what you're doing, you can directly affect your outcomes. You want more of something, you need to be doing something now to be, one, able to receive more, but two, create that luck and create those opportunities to happen for you to get more. There's a law of attraction and there's a law of relativity. There's a natural laws of the universe at play, and people just don't understand them. And what's even worse, people don't even know them. Now, if this is the first time you've heard of any of those laws, I highly suggest that you go look up natural laws of the universe. It's on the internet. People can get anything that they want. You have a smartphone, right? You have a device in the palm of your hand that you can learn anything. You can research. You can find out how to do, what to do, where, in the palm of your hands. But the problem in these scenarios, one is a lack of know-how. People just don't know how to react, how to respond to another person's actions. And in scenario one here, the black person does not know how to respond to the white person properly, the white officer. Now, whatever the white officer is doing, they're just reflecting their current attitude. If they're angry, they're going to be angry towards someone else. They're going to take it out on someone else. Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it, but you do it. Now, take race aside of that. Ask yourself this: when you're angry, how do you affect other people? Do you bottle it up inside and you just get mad at yourself? Or do you get mad at yourself and then you just take it out on everyone else because you're just mad, you're just in a fit? You don't know how to control your emotions. And in this scenario, the misconception of law enforcement, part one, is a misconception of emotions, misconception of knowledge, know-how, and a misconception of just taking the proper actions. They're both people, the black person and the white person. They're just people. And they're people due to flaw, due to make errors, due to make mistakes. But we hold an officer in high regard, like they cannot make a mistake. They're supposed to be an officer. They're supposed to know how to, they're supposed to do this. Really? Well, ask yourself, in your job, what are you supposed to know how? What are you supposed to know to do? How are you supposed to operate? It's a lot of that, right? I'll give you one thing, and this is going to be crazy because people do this all the time and don't really kind of conceptualize this. I want you to do this with me. Point your finger at the camera. Now, how many fingers are pointing at the camera screen? And how many fingers are pointing back at you? And when you do it, look at your hand. Yeah. There's one pointing towards you, but there's also 3 pointing back at me. So before I talk about someone else and what they should be doing, I need to manage myself accordingly. I need to figure out, what am I doing? How am I doing? Am I even doing anything properly? And be present in the moment. And in this scenario, the black person is present. Hey, what do you need me to do? How can I do this? What can I do? And at the end of the day, if that person gets a ticket, or if that person goes to jail, or whatever, let's stop. What is the result of that encounter? Did that person really speed? Did that person have a taillight out? Did that person have some legal justification of why they got a ticket? Some legal justification of why they got pulled over? Did that person have a warrant? Did that person have some other type of issue, child support, tag, insurance, that they got pulled over and got the ticket for? The other part of lack of know-how is everyone, in my experience and in my opinion, in the law enforcement side, they call them street lawyers. In the moment that an officer's in front of them, hey officer, I know my rights. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. Really? Can you recite it? Do you really know your rights? Do you really know the legal law book? Because it's literally about this thick. And it's that big book that you have to learn and know when, as an officer, when you're in an academy. And you're expected to learn and know this throughout your whole career. And I can tell you right now, just the traffic statutes alone are about that thick. That thick. If an officer follows you for a block, I guarantee there's a violation that you can do in one block. I challenge you to go look and figure out what the actual guidelines are for the law on the road. Do you turn your signals on when you signal in between lanes? Oh yeah? Are you constantly staying in the lane, or sometimes do you dip over? And hey, there's a lot those are just two things. And me as an officer, if you kind of dipping over, you're not understanding that I don't just have to worry about you. I have to worry about everyone around you. Because hey, what if texting, not doing anything wrong, you're just texting while you drive, right? You're texting and you're driving, but what are you supposed to be focused on? Are you focused on the road? If you're not focused on the road and you're focused on your phone, you tend to move and go where your eyes are. So if you're doing this, who's paying attention to where the wheel's going? Because you're not looking at it. And yeah, you're moving over. And then when the accident happens, it's not your fault, right? Oh, I got into an accident. Not too many people will accept, hey man, I was texting, I wasn't paying attention, I hit someone, yeah, it's my fault. No, what happens? Dang, my insurance is gonna go up. Oh, these people don't want to settle because now my insurance is gonna go up and they saying it's my fault. It wasn't my fault, I was in my lane, right? So, mind you, see how it goes from a conception of a traffic stop to it could be a totally abundance of factors. And mind you, not all situations are the same. I'm only giving you two versions, and I didn't even give it to you in a clear way because it happens differently. One thing that I know being a police officer is that you can go to the same type of call, you can go to the same style of incident, but they all happen differently. No one thing is the same. And as a officer, officers know that, but do people? No. People don't know. People don't think to understand how to know. One of the best advice I gave people when I was an officer, and I'll even give it to you right now, is go take a ride along in your city, in your state, wherever you are, with the local police department. Go take a ride along. See what it's like to be a day as a law enforcement officer. Whatever you do for work, your profession, I'm pretty sure you're good at it. And you have a role in your profession. But if you're part of an organization, the organization is a collective of a whole bunch of people. So you have to do your role within a collective of a whole bunch of people. Same thing as a police officer. The police officers are a department, and one individual is a collection of that department. And unfortunately, if one individual does something wrong, it makes the collection of the nation, of the United States as I'm in, bad, because now all officers look bad. Do you want to be the one to cause that perception of everyone? One rotten apple ruins the whole bunch. It's not like that. We're people. We make mistakes. And hey, listen, what I'm saying in this video is the misconceptions is just the lack of know-how. I hope you understand that. The lack of knowledge, the fear, hey, what's gonna happen if, but it hasn't even happened yet. Be present, stay where you are. Do exactly what you're supposed to do. The officer is angry. Control your emotions. That can go for both people. The black person is controlling their emotions. They're present, they're trying to figure, hey, listen, if I did something, tell me, blah, 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 blah. But they're not getting a straight answer because the other person is not clear. The other person is in their emotions. And the misconception is that they're supposed to be on point all the time. Think about it. What high performance police officer do you know? And if you know that person, you will understand that they stand out from the rest of their peers, the rest of the people in their department. You will go to them before you go to anyone else. Why? Because of their personality, because of how they handle themselves. They stand out. And that's what I want for you. Whether you're an officer watching this or whether you're a person watching this. How to perform better in your life. How to understand these things so that you can manage yourself and control yourself. And hey, don't misunderstand this video. This is not a Black Lives Matter thing. I'm not doing this because of Black Lives Matter. I was actually challenged to do this because someone knew that I would be able to present this information to you in a way that you should be able to understand it. Now, if you don't understand it, I welcome all comments. Comment below. Share this with someone who needs this information, who needs to understand whatever viewpoint they have, whether they're, radical, I hate the cops, or whether they're just normal, like, hey man, what do I do if I get into an encounter with an officer, if I get stopped, or how am I supposed to act? There's a lot of other things you're supposed to be dealing with in life, and how to perform and how to be the best you can be in your life or even in your business. One thing you shouldn't have to worry about, and it's so sad that we have to worry about this in this day and age, is how to interact with law enforcement. I can tell you personally, I became a law enforcement officer to kind of cut that stigmatism and that perception of like, hey, officers are bad. I grew up in Miami. I grew up in and around a hood. No snitching, hated cops. But there were cops that I was able to talk to. There were cops that stopped and talked to me and helped progress my knowledge and my mental to help me. Hey man, you have some skills. Hey, if you can just continue to focus on football, you'll be great. Don't get caught up and be on the corner like everyone else. That person ended up becoming somebody to look up to. And hey, I never thought that I would get into law enforcement until later on in life. I said, hey, I'm going to be an NFL player. I'm going to make it. And if I don't make it, I want to be a law enforcement officer because my family was law enforcement and I want to be able to help people. I grew up on the stories of law enforcement helping people. Now, the world changed, times changed. We're in the age of social media and technology. So pretty much every encounter in my last years of law enforcement, someone had a video. Someone was recording me. And at the end of the day, it worked for me because I was professional. I knew how to handle myself and I performed at a level that separated me from some of the rest of my peers. I didn't realize it at that time until I start understanding, hey, like, I know what my real value is, helping people perform better in the world. Let me do it here in law enforcement. Now, let me do it on a bigger scale. Let me do it here. Let me do it in this video. And I hope that you share this video with someone, with a family member, with a friend, because someone needs to know this information and this could definitely help someone. Now, what I'm saying, and all I'm saying, is this is advice. And all lives matter. Not just black, not just white, not just any race. We're all together. And if you can understand that, and if all lives matter to you, and if your life matters even more to you, then you can take control of your life to not end up in other scenarios. And you can definitely take more control of your life to kind of help people guide themselves out of their own stuff. That's the higher level stuff. That's what I do. I love it. I love this stuff. So you might not. Hey, officer pulls you over, handle yourself accordingly. Know what you can do. If you don't know something, ask. Hey, listen, I don't know what I did wrong. Hey, I don't know where I can go or what I can do. Or did I do something? Some people are lenient, some people are not. Hey, if you did something that warrants a ticket and you get a ticket, you deserved it. If you did something that warrants a ticket and they cut you a break, they cut you a break. Don't go continue to do it again because you're gonna run into somebody who isn't. All right. So hope this serves you. Hope this video serves you. If you want to learn more about shifts that you can make to just help you perform better in your life and in your business, there's a link below the video. And also, because I've retired now, I can help you go a lot further and expand on these misconceptions of law enforcement. I'm writing my second book, The Misconceptions of Law Enforcement, and you can get on the waiting list for it. So click the link below the video as well for that, if that interests you. But I hope this video serves you. I hope this video helps you. I hope you share this video. I hope you like, and I welcome all comments. Comment below. Tell me what you thought the scenario was, how you pictured it, what has happened to you, what has happened to your friends. And I will definitely comment and clear some things up for you and clear some things, make it a lot better, because it's just a misconception. That's all it is. It's not personal. It's just a misconception. DiIvory Edgecomb here. Stay awesome and stay on the lookout for video 2.